Okay, commissioners, the meeting is live.
Good morning. Welcome to the November 10th meeting of the Roanoke County Commission. Please stand and join in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments. No problem. You're always here for public comment. I think that's what it was. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I think we know the transfer station's closed next Thursday, right?
Yes, I got it. That's it.
And I need to actually get these comments sent over to Cindy too. I need to do that. Okay, Monday, post meeting, I met with Sonia Armbruster from the Public Health Initiative, Wichita State University Center for Public Health Initiative. I don't know if she met with any of the rest of you while she was here, but she wanted to know more about how I see my role as a member of the Board of Health here for Riley County. Answer any questions or concerns that may have, how they're working to support and strengthen the health of the community, the infrastructure here at the health department and the state as a whole. As you're aware, both state and county health rankings over the last few years have been kind of ebb and flow. For Riley County, we tend to be above most of the averages, which is good. But the state has not. So we've gone from 50. We were at 8 at one time, bottomed out all the way to 51st. I guess they're including Washington, D.C. and Guam or Puerto Rico or somebody. Started all the way at the bottom. We've worked our way back up to 28 and continue to try to boost that. So had a good conversation. Somebody from that group will be down in Wichita for KAC too. So something to think about. Also Monday, I met via video conference with my nutritionist, Stormont Vale in Topeka. This is mainly to talk and discuss some ways and ideas to work through the holiday season, toughest part of the year. Start talking about a new plan of attack for early 26. Had a pretty good, productive conversation. Conversation just has to turn into action. Monday afternoon, myself, Amanda Webb, Planning and Special Projects Director, met with Angela Shanine from the city of Ogden and Chris Schultz from the city of Leonardville to discuss the Home in the Heartland grant. And because they've expressed some interest and to brainstorm and develop some ideas and a path to maybe help them have some success with this program too. Like I said, they did express some interest. Monday evening, watched the K-State Tulsa basketball game. Wasn't anything really else on. What a barn burner. Oh my gosh. Back and forth, the Cats won 84-83. It was an interesting game because, the first 3 games has been kind of lights out. This one wasn't. They didn't shoot overly well. Couple keys. PJ Haggerty's the real deal. He's the real deal. He showed that we can gut it out when we don't shoot the ball very well. I think that's going to be really important. I think our full court defense is going to be really good. Our half court defense needs a lot of work. And they need to learn how to rebound on the half court a lot better too. But a win is a win. And we're 4-0, I think for the first time in a couple of years at least. So, yeah, we play Mississippi State. Is that right tonight? Holiday Classic in Kansas City. So we'll spend some time on the road here and see where we're at. I think it's going to be a fun team to watch throughout this year. So we'll hope for the best. Tuesday and Wednesday, I spent some long days at work. Got a ton of orders coming through the pipeline towards the end of the year, and the holidays, and we have to do a redo of our annual inventory. So that's going to take another 2-3 days out of the equation. So it's important to get some time in to get some things moving forward. Wednesday, I attended the November Policy Board meeting of the Metropolitan Planning Organization over at the Manhattan Public Library. After some opening welcomes and remarks, got a financial update from the organization, which is doing very well. They've got influx of some dollars coming in from KDOT and just a couple other things. And so very healthy balance at this point in time. I guess Jared's reached out, talked to you in advance, maybe reaching out on another proposed amendment, how to deal with a situation if have to do it like basically what we do is a budget amendment. So he may be reaching out and get some ideas on that. So just to give you a heads up. Yeah. And after that, we got staff updates from both the NPO and KDOT. Of course, a lot of that discussion was centered around the K-18, I-70 project that's fixing to start on that groundbreaking. They're supposed to be giving me a timeline on the roundabouts at 13 and 113. They didn't know right up front, but obviously the timelines have shifted a little bit for the better. That's what I'm hearing. So when he gets that, I'll make sure everybody else gets that as well. And let's see, also with that, we had a couple of action items, including passing of the September and October meeting minutes, a couple approval updates to the operations manual. A couple of our discussion items included the 2026 UPWP. You'll be hearing a lot about that early next year, and some other items that will be on next month's meeting agenda. And then this morning, I attended the policy breakfast hosted by the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce at the Doubletree by Hilton. Guest speaker was David, I didn't really catch his last name, Prente, from the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. Apparently he started his career out right here in Manhattan. He discussed the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. Of course, Kansas City is a host city, and to discuss what that means for Kansas City and the region as well. And looks like it'll be a pretty exciting time when it gets here. So, and with that, that's all I've got this morning.
Okay, well, let's see, this morning or Monday afternoon, I attended the law board meeting. The chair, John Matta, was available, so I conducted the meeting. It was a fairly long agenda. And if anyone wants to take a look at it, I have a copy of the whole packet. So after the meeting, I took my car to Briggs for servicing. It's well needed. Tuesday, I had a list of errands and came into the office to do some organizing and to catch up on emails and other documents. I also checked with the counselor's office on the Keats easements. I had a call on my phone. I called him back from one of the residents who's totally against the project and won't sign the documents. I spent some time discussing it with him, and he's supposed to get some information to me. See how that goes. Wednesday morning, had a dental appointment that lasted through lunch. Getting there was a real treat because Scenic Drive was closed past the bridge and no warning whatsoever the night before. It was just like,
Was there nothing in advance of
it
that?
said right lane will be closed.
Well, this is what happened to me yesterday coming home from work, and I'm sorry to vent on this. I'm sorry to take up your time, but I was coming home from work at 4 yesterday, and I sat there for 20 minutes.
Waiting for the pilot car.
Yeah, and I'm like 4 behind the pilot car, and I didn't know which way the pilot car was going because there was 2 different cones set up. So I went left, the pilot car went right. I ended up ahead of the pilot car, and of course they had equipment up there.
Pilot car.
Yeah, I ended up being the pilot car, which should work out well with the red truck, obviously. Not planned out very well, and I got cussed at by one of the workers there.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna delete that one alone because it was technically my fault, but still, organize that a little bit better, please.
Well, this
They're
morning,
there too.
the big trucks with all this stuff, all the
Yeah.
asphalt was coming.
No.
So they were closing it off again today. So the only way you can get here is to go up, like for me, to go up, all the way up to
That's you too, doesn't it? Live over there in the area.
all the way back around.
Okay, I didn't remember seeing any signs or anything saying construction's gonna start, yada, yada. I expected that.
Between that and Anderson making cooking things, you know, it's really fun to get around to.
Get in there. So, and I had a lot of comments to make too.
Well,
In the car.
Well, at the end of that ordeal, I could have probably done without the extra usage of commentary, but
Yeah.
like I said, it was technically my fault, but I didn't know which way they were going with that. Like I said, I did end up, and it forced a couple of people to have to move some vehicles out of the way real fast, but
Well, yeah, well, I did make it to my
Do
dental.
that a little bit better. That's my key word.
After waiting for the pilot car, I finally got to my dental appointment, which took, went through lunch.
Hmm.
And
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, there were more fillings that had to be done than originally planned. So it went from 2 to 5 and it took all, a long time.
You're gonna end up on a K-Dot maybe with what not to do.
Yeah, probably, and that's fine, but organize that a little bit better or have people. I was sitting there, and sorry to take up more of your time, but when I was sitting there, I was thinking, you've got, maybe it's a question for Evan, actually. You've got paying people to stand there with signs that say stop, slow, whatever. And that person wasn't really figuring out what was going on there because they moved it back and forth a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, technology should have caught up with that by now to where you have just a stand that says stop or slow. And somebody in the lead truck can like use an app or a button or something and change that. And you shouldn't have to have two people out there standing.
We might go.
If that technology isn't developed, I'm gonna start working with it.
Well, they had cones up along that.
Yeah.
Both sides for like 2 weeks. I couldn't figure out what it was for. I go through that intersection probably 5-6 times a day and never a sign. So
Okay, I wasn't just me.
it wasn't you.
I was a little frustrated with that because I would have liked to have known because I would have shifted. I
Oh,
would have went down Stepchilds and took K-18 instead.
yeah, that's the only way I can get anywhere. But anyway, anyway, later on Wednesday, I reviewed today's agenda and documents. This morning, I did not attend the policy breakfast. Wasn't feeling too well. Stomach was really upset about something, probably the dental appointment or the road or something. I don't know, but still kind of but I'm here. So, anyway, that's all I have.
Well, Monday after the meeting was the monthly law board meeting. We got the 2024 audit. And there's also discussion about moving the Aggieville substation to an area at the new hotel.
Yeah.
This it's supposed to be ready this fall yet. But I mean, not this fall, obviously, a year from fall of this 26. The new location is supposed to have 3 times the space of the existing one. And the rent will be right up 3 times what it is now. But they are working with the owners to secure a long-term contract. So once they get moved there, they can't get moved back out soon.
They did say they would do the finish work, but I don't know.
Okay, that was my question.
They're supposed to do all
City inside,
construction.
I don't know.
but I mean, that's still comes out of.
Yeah.
That's a discussion for that.
Yeah. And Tuesday was the final meeting of the year for the Flint Hills Veterans Coalition. They reviewed the parade and what went well, what didn't. And numbers were up again this year and overall went real well. Got a nice article in the paper about it this time too. And Wednesday was the NCK Juvenile Detention Center meeting. And most of it was routine, but the local school district had filed some kind of a complaint with DCF about the way they were doing the GED with the kids. And DCF came out and looked and said, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's interesting because the school district that they complained when they quit sending, they were by law supposed to send teachers there and they quit doing it last year. And they had to hire their own teachers this year. But then they go complain about even DCF said that was not reasonable what they were doing. So that's all I've got. We can do some business.
First item, Commission made motion to 2025 municipal advisory agreement. Raymond James.
I do have a question on that. So we've got both, we've got 2 things seem to be the same, what's the difference between the municipal advisor and the bond counsel.
They work closely together. So this first one is for an attorney that specializes in bond and finance law. The other is the financial advisor.
Oh,
And they're Riley County, he has been with Riley County for 25 years probably. He was with a different firm previously, he was with the Piper Jeffrey.
yeah, I
Now
would
he's with
say.
Brandon James. Same thing's happening with Mary on bond counsel. She's been our bond counselor since 25 or 30 years. She's switching firms. So that's the reason why you're signing that. The one with Brandon James was due to that issuance on the Peterson Ranch. You would him authority to perform to do his duties on that job. So those two do work closely together with every type of large bond issue or financial matter that we have.
So hers isn't just for this one, hers is for.
Yeah, hers is for switching firms, because we're switching from
She kind of has counsel all through the year, but it
Yeah.
isn't just for this one. This.
anytime that legal has a question for, or finance has a question for regarding finances.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we're both about the same project.
very important resource for us,
Okay,
and they're both very good at what they do.
yeah.
Okay, we'll make a motion then to approve the municipal engagement agreement. Well, that was a mouthful. For the insurance, the series 2025 Geo temporary notes.
I'll second that.
The moved and seconded to approve municipal advisor engagement agreement with Raymond James and Associates for the issuance of the series 2025 Geo temporary notes for Peterson Ranch and University Park. For keeps all the funds. All in favor?
Sure, please, us.
It's not very worth fees, so this is for.
Peterson.
Okay,
It is Peterson Ranch and Solid Waste Projects.
but.
It's Peterson Ranch and Solid Waste Projects.
Yeah.
I don't know why we need Keats, we've got.
Well, but
It's not
Well,
red,
Mary.
it's not red. There's that, putting these two smaller ones together, it makes it more attractive, you know, better rate and more bids.
Okay.
These will be big enough on its own, but if you had two together, then you do the same thing, you might put the size. With better rates and bids, interest.
What's the price gonna be in the Peterson Ranch? Yeah,
You have an estimated price on Peterson Ranch?
I think it's around 320.
it's around 2,000. Keats is way over that.
Oh,
4.8, something. Peterson has all the infrastructure already, right?
Yeah, I think they have a separate utility systems. I think they're on Sherwood Water District. And yeah, septic system.
That's for that project's for road, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's road reconstruction. So, but asphalt. What's that?
It's done.
Yes. Yeah.
you. Just reading the engagement letter, on council, Mary Carson with Spencer Fane.
Move to approve the engagement letter with bond counsel Mary Carson of Spencer Fane LLP.
I would second that.
moved and seconded to approve the engagement letter with bond counsel Mary Carson of Spencer Lane. All in favor?
Aye.
Here, you sign.
Spencer Fane. I said Spencer Lane.
Your motion to relegate personnel action form, Lisa Jones as the Lieutenant Assistant Lieutenant Department, Separation Service, 12 foot, new hire, volunteer firefighter, Reynolds, Neil Meyer, volunteer firefighter, Aaron Kurtz, status change from full-time to as needed, fiscal analyst, health department. Myron McCullough, volunteer firefighter, fire district separation service, Riley Green, volunteer firefighter, fire district separation service, William Frazee, volunteer firefighter, separation service. Motion, please.
I'd make a motion to approve the Riley County Employee Action Forms as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Riley County employee action forms. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, I'm looking at the picture. Last night at 6, I mean, obviously that is the Fort Riley traffic there, but shoot. Not. I don't remember seeing them go outside saying. Okay, it's not the same thing. And it's all city, that's in showing trucks out there, so. Yeah. Well, like somebody showed up and said, we're gonna tear up the road. And really, with some of the roads in and around, it's not one of the worst things either.
Yeah. Although, and
Highly traveled, give them that.
it'll be nice once it's not.
How many, I mean, I don't even know how many days.
Probably.
It's very rich. You got a good trip done yesterday, so. Right, lots of anything.
Good. I assume they're not doing the whole thing. They're just kind of doing patches.
Maybe it is.
I drove a lot of
I
it.
assume that, so.
Yeah.
Well, like there was one, maybe they pulled it up and realized maybe it was in worse shape as they went down a little deeper to the base, but.
Yeah, more towards the top of that hill. It's pretty rough.
Well, you figure with all the runoff and everything, it's.
A lot of these running around. Once your seek said, speaks out for all 60.
Have your survey.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sit on my desk.
All right, thanks. Yeah. I'm excited to fill it up.
I bet you are. I
Heard
really
that,
have
heard that.
questions.
Heard that people are getting them, so, yeah. So, yeah, it's not just me, the guys, so, yeah, other people are resident and have them, so.
I can check my mailbox.
I understand it's cost, what, $22,000 to do that?
How much?
So it's 22,000.
Sorry.
Bad. For that type of a survey.
I don't know, that's,
I saw an article today, if you go out that survey with the drug, they won't find it towards. They told the totals going once they go out of a separate deal, like where. They'll say this is non-scientific people, it's not that this, people who got a survey from the, I guess, will have some, right there, and so.
oh,
To me, there's more truth probably in the QAR ones than the ones that have been targeted.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah. Yeah, like, we'll get more passion as much as the QR,
yeah, when I read the cost of that, I just have to remember.
I would have expected that to be more, to be honest with you, but 20,000 is 20,000.
Each is gonna have some days or everything.
Yeah, there's lots of them. Cheaper.
That's right down the road from you.
I know, it's only like 4 miles from me.
Another idea I heard yesterday, to put a roof over the city lap, or city park or lap pool.
Or seek
Indoor lap pool.
That's what, I would say all along, it's the Seco, but it's more, we can find them. Yeah.
Problem solved, but
Put a big bubble roof over.
that's like a couple million versus 60.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a pretty good job now. I mean, you look at SoFi Stadium and stuff where you can put enclosure around it where it basically looks like you're outside. You can do stuff,
Yeah,
365. And then when it does get nice and warm, you can open everything back up around the side and the top and you are outside.
yeah.
And it'd be still a lot less expensive than that.
kids were there every summer.
No, no.
They play, all this stuff.
Any changes in minutes, commissioners?
I think
No.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the November 17th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
Second that.
been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the November 17th meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Attended agendas of the commissioners. Any plans for next week's press conference? Okay, Mr. Henderson at 9:30.
Just you remember, December 1st, I'll be zooming.
Oh, you are gonna Zoom?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna-
just had it, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be zooming in from someplace in Hardin County, Kentucky.
Said you said here and go on some first.
I'll be gone from the 25th next Tuesday until I'll be back in the 3rd.
25th, that's my.
One sec.
Well, if you need an excuse,
She was
you
saying, I just gotta do the math real quick, 26.
How are you?
Yeah, one of the couples standing last at the wedding dances, except for the pizza out.
So I can guarantee you one thing.
They're towards the end nowadays.
Towards it, just in, I want
A few couples, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so they know that.
I've been getting to do that. I haven't been
Oh, really? Yeah,
I've been to some before, but
No, get me out, that's a boulder.
some old guys. What's it, my daughter, so they did that, my folks was on that, because they just. At that time, they were not over 50, I can't remember which, 50 something.
Two. Something. So.
My grandparents, we get 72.
72 years, man? Or seven, oh,
No, maybe, look, maybe, not, well, grandpa's is 90 something, grandma's 103.
can't.
I'll smack Jay over the door.
All right, thanks, so appreciate it. Trying to decide how much you want to write in there, I probably will write a novel, you know. Yeah,
I have something that I need to give to you. It's paper copy.
yeah, Jamie Moore, so second, Jamie Moore, hard, you know, what is, there is, yeah, I mean, she said school board members, they're not, I guess they're not distinguished, they're not. So, yeah, not demographics, I guess, but.
Close tomorrow.
She,
Close tomorrow.
she sent out like a hundred email to you, like,
That's a long time coming.
so that's kind of her skill is like introducing people, so. She's,
Going
going to be a part of the
Sign
team.
relief.
I don't know who have her.
It's almost like your place.
Or who have her. But I have
Your
beer
weddings, new place?
Oh, yeah, we love
That stuff,
it's great.
yeah, so I'll talk to Jenny.
It's like this morning, was good 30 minutes, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah, I still gotta, I gotta sit down and get with this.
There's a fix for you stream it, it's for that area, my one daughter's gonna have, yeah, she did. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, up on the top, so. The old.
It's on Sumac.
Yeah, there's one on the evening,
Yeah.
those on the top, really, those were all in the 70s, ours were like 90s when you built, or the west side.
Yeah, this one, then, I still want it, yeah.
We looked at one of the old Stag Hills golf course clubhouse.
Oh, really?
They turned it into a house. Yeah, it's up there, I can't which street is in, it just, look, and it was interesting, but it had just one small bathroom. You know, and just.
As a clubhouse would.
Yeah, and there was just no, it would have been major dollars to add on, because they chopped up the room, you know, big in the sun, it was kind of interesting.
Do they still have phones?
I don't know, this one's up on Stag Hill, yeah, your old one,
It's
the
the-
golf course was up on the hill. And,
I didn't know the golf course.
yeah, that's why it's called Stag Hill Golf Course.
I've seen pictures.
I just assumed because it's close to that area. There's stream on it.
Oh, okay, it's 6%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never thought of
Ready for Mr. Hanson?
that.
Nope. Thank you. Entrance.
I'm here. I'm on time still 9:30.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hansen, Riley County Councilor here for administrative session. Then I have Michael here after me with the card to present for you folks. As far as the administrative work session, I have two interesting things to talk about. One, we got a request for a couple to get married in the clock tower of the courthouse. So I'm going to talk with Ellerman about that and see what he thinks as far as facilities, as the facilities director and all that goes. I'm really pressing probably not to do that. And if you guys tell me no right off the bat here, I'm happy to just stop right there and we can let them know.
I'm actually kind of curious on that one. I don't see how you're going to get more than two people. How are you going to make it?
They've told us it's just going to be one, the couple, an officiant, and I think they're two kids, and then a Riley County employee to make sure that they don't go.
Kids.
Yeah, two kids.
You can't get kids up there.
That's kind of what it's.
Dangerous.
It's Latin.
Have they been up there to see it?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
So that suggestion of let them look at it first.
Because if they haven't looked at it, they don't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think they understand the,
Those gears could be messed with.
Yeah.
The kids would be really.
well, trying to get the kids up a staircase, it's almost literally
Yeah, well-
straight up is.
Liability is a concern, of course, premises liability on that.
Or something on that.
Yeah.
And even-
And it's they kind of wanted a pretty short turnaround. So I think just out the gate, this is kind of
It doesn't sound like
a loss.
So,
It's a hell of an idea though.
consensus for working on this or to deny?
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
Use your bandwidth someplace else.
Yeah, fair enough.
Consensus for the board?
Yeah, it's.
All right, good deal.
Like I say, they obviously haven't ever been there. It sounds neat.
It looks great from the outside.
The pictures, every once in a while, a picture of the guy up there working on it. But the access, because we went up there one time.
Yeah. Well, and I remember I seen pictures there from when you guys did the space needs and everything from over a year ago. Yeah. Yeah, it looked pretty.
Like the ladder concept. So I didn't.
Yeah, that would be difficult, I'm sure.
Well, you're talking about you could take kids.
Kids.
I give props on the idea though. That's a pretty good thought. For
Yeah.
sure.
Commend the effort, and yeah, you never know until you ask.
Yeah.
But the answer's there. The next thing I wanted to touch just briefly on, of course, is the Keats project, and we've been working really hard on that, and we've got some good progress. I was able to get a hold of the folks at USDA really quickly. I sent them an email, and they called me within the hour. So really commend the folks over there for being quick. And that's mainly due to, and as Catherine kind of alluded to earlier, we have a little bit of difficulties with at least one property owner, and then there's a handful that just we can't get a hold of, which really leaves us to probably go down an eminent domain path to get that temporary access to put in their sewer lines. And so at this point, we're going to have all the permanent easements. And so that's for the main infrastructure. We're going to have that tonight. I'm going to go get that, the last one. And then after that, we put together everything for the bid package, and we can go ahead and actually put that out there. So we're going to make some significant moves here soon on Keats. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
And then you'll have, of course, probably eminent domain resolution coming your way relatively soon. So with that said, those were really just kind of the two major topics I wanted to talk about in the administrative work session. Did you have any questions for me before I hand it over to Mike?
No, but I said one problem was just for the temporary, not for permanent.
Yeah, all of them are just for temporary. So it's
You can get the main, yeah,
yep.
sounds good.
All right.
Long fight. What would a fight,
Just as long as
Long process.
something. I hope this is the last substance we want to.
Knock on wood.
Morning, Commissioners. Michael Hawthorne, Assistant County Counselor. I am here today to discuss an extension of a contract between the board and Custom Data Processing, which is a company that provides electronic health record management software for the health department. The health department had been using that software since 2018. Unfortunately, the contract actually lapsed last month. The representative from CDP had been emailing the prior county counselor and apparently had not realized that
Need to recess. Is this health department or
Yes.
Oh,
not?
It's two, one half dozen the others. Sorry, Commissioner, but I went for decades without ever doing that and now kind of changed course. It's.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure. I think we're fine.
Yeah,
I think it's
not,
contractual.
yeah, it's practically good for time.
Okay. That's what.
You're fine.
and for additional surety, I looked at the last contract or last extension that Clancy drew up, and it was for the Board of Commissioners, not the Board of Health. So, anyways, I was able to get a hold of the representative from CDP. The Health Department has been planning to get a new software that'll take a little bit of time to get up and running. CDP is willing to continue to cover us up until next June, at which point we believe we'll have the Patagonia system up and running. They did require a slight 5% increase in the fees for the contract. I believe that's the first increase for the entire life of the agreement back in 2018. That said, I spoke about it with Diane, and the health department does need this software to continue to function. Grateful to the folks at CDP that they've let us continue without a contract in place, just for the fact that they couldn't get a hold of us. And so I stand for questions for the board, and Diane is also here if we have any more questions.
Yeah, well, no, they were emailing Julie Gibbs and Clancy for like nothing more than months. And Michael decided to check, if I send an email to Clancy, is a returning mail still being sent back? It is.
Yes.
It is. So they just, I guess, decided to.
Not sure if it's.
Maybe the question of, email isn't the only way to try to contact somebody, even if we have an address that could be sent to, and that would have been.
Phone.
Exactly.
Everything's called telephone. We all have our
Right.
pockets.
You know, I'm old enough to remember when we didn't have email and you actually had to write a letter, which is horrible out, send, wait 2 days to see if somebody received it, and then wait another 2 days to see if they return it back. So, that's a week-long process.
It was an interesting decision. They had finally included Diane on an email that they had sent, which is how we found out about it. So,
Well, it's good it clarified. And so when we get the Patagonia system up and running, this will replace that. That's what you're saying.
that's correct. This contract is good until the middle of next June, by which point we expect to have Patagonia up and running, and we won't need this anymore. We'll just need a few months while we're getting Patagonia set up to continue using CDP software.
Sounds good to me.
Give a motion.
I'll go ahead and move that the board authorize the chairman to sign the agreement with CDP as presented.
I would second that.
Then moved and seconded to approve the amendment to the agreement with CDP with the health department. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Next, Commissioner, the rest of
Sir.
I didn't, all that work, I didn't do it myself. Because I would love so frozen.
Yes.
Figured out why. All of a sudden, there's three actions. But they were all, they said to other. So my dog, of course, is
This happened, Jay, I'll call before I can think about there. I would be out there, so if this is my.
I have to try it, honestly, yeah. That might be, they are fixing.
Can't imagine that, they were by 8 or something like that, if I do,
Maybe, yeah, I don't know, I've never been able to sell somebody.
I had to, we took that tour years ago.
That is cool.
It is cool up there, but it's not easy to get to.
And you go up. Pretty new ones.
And that clock, the clock mechanism is one of them, it just has that little. Kids can.
You can't let people do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You might be into a spot, actually. Yeah. I'm trying to use that.
For us. Yeah. Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not there. Hold on. Great. Yeah, right. So there's a vision.
Yeah.
That's Wednesday. Michael Bowler was on for some reason this week, Tuesday.
Yes.
She did a great job.
Good.
Talks about not just using hustle hazardous waste and just spend an hour.
Probably the easiest way to get it is to hit it up on YouTube. But the whole videos on YouTube. Or if you do podcasts, it's, that comes from part of what I can't see it. With some more from KFC. Just look it over and see how it applies here. Actually, true. I will want it back at some point in time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I didn't get a second copy. I guess I can email something.
No, you're good. Thank you.
It's not my own. Or. It's a good discussion.
We get it.
Brittany's non-negotiable shrub.
Yeah.
She only had a certain amount of copies and I didn't want to ask for a second one.
Is this their audit or? I can't share. So, but. Okay. I'll make copies and then they would proceed.
Okay. I think there's gonna be quite a bit of discussion on it at KAC in December, so I'll let you know. Or are you going? Okay, yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, specifically.
Yeah, it's that are in Kansas City. This place, they're saying there's ceremony. Putting that farm. That's part of this thing.
I'm not familiar. But the thing, those ceremonies are always same day. Yeah, I was really shocked that US. The program you're out there was like. No contact, it's just, I was like, I'll be happy if I get a response until.
Well, especially since they've been
Yeah.
shut down for a month and
Right.
trying to get, trying to get over. So
So now, you
what
know,
do we miss for a month?
I have enough time, yeah, coming out for a week. Yeah. Lord, perfect.
They were the ones that got funded for a year ago.
I think so.
So they can read these.
Yeah. Still waiting on a response from David.
Oh, okay.
Let's get here and do it. He definitely plans on it. Just.
Okay.
That's a response. So.
You want me to text him?
If you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're over week, so.
I'm not really involved on.
Well, you're not really. Like,
No, no, not to, I hope it's not December 25th.
yeah.
Yeah, first meeting.
Well, Brandon, hey, Jonathan.
What the leaves on that tree up there off of stuff?
Yeah. That's great. Like one's on my
Yeah.
You'll wake up one morning, it's outside and just fall, let you.
We had that, second morning on this sheet, yeah.
They last all year
The fact
long.
that there's leaves on that tree, or late November is raising in sun.
But it's not the food, that's the.
Oh, dear.
But they drop the leaves all at once. I mean, when it gets to a certain temperature,
They just.
you just see it. You go out and look at the grass, so you got a message, it just looks like it's something.
Right.
They've got cold.
That's soft that they just put that.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Last year, you know, got
Yeah,
down to a certain temperature and it all was, it just rained in the back. We weren't there because when we went back one time, it's back here for his cousins.
Yeah, I saw that phenomenon. This year I was walking the dog in the morning.
It looked
And
good.
Amber, and I don't know what kind of reason. Raining.
It's weird looking this screen.
I've never seen it.
In case you forget. It's really good.
We had to make a motion.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we recess as the Board of County Commission and convene as the Board of County Health.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to recess as the Board of County Commissioners and convene as the Board of Health. All in favor?
Aye.
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Breva Spencer. I'm the maternal and child health supervisor here at the Riley County Health Department.
And I'm Sarah Haybarker. I'm one of the social workers for the maternal and child health program.
And Sarah also helps with our community baby shower and supports some of the grant and that kind of thing. So that's why she's here today. So we're back. It's that time of year again where we are asking for approval to apply for the fiscal year 26 supporting primary prevention and shared risk and preventive factors. So remember last year it was called CORE-CIP, and it was a really long acronym and we called it CORE-CIP. Well, they changed the name a little bit, still long and lengthy, but it will be known as the mini grant.
Land for it.
Yeah.
Change the letters around if you have. to.
Right, yep. So little bit different, but the same concept, still through KDHE. And it's to support safe sleep through community baby showers, which is exactly what we do every year in the spring. And so essentially, it would be the 5th annual community baby shower this year. It focuses on families experiencing social determinants of health. The event will include education, community connections, essential supplies, collaboration. And then if awarded, we will meet all the KDHE requirements, including the pre and post test surveys that are required, vendor tracking, evaluations, and we have to then submit a final report for the grant. So do you have any questions? Okay. So I would recommend move to approve submission of the fiscal year 26 KDHE Community Baby Shower SRPF mini grant application.
So
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the submission of the 26 KDHE Community Baby Shower mini grant application. On favor. Aye.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
you're
They let you off easy. No questions.
yeah, you've done this for a couple of years.
Right, right.
That's good. Yeah.
So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Had somebody in here, we should have grilled her with.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll remember that next time. No, it'll be twice as bad. Yeah, make a motion that we recess as the Board of County Health and reconvene as the Board of County Commission.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to recess as the Board of Health and reconvene as the Board of County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Who Chiefs play this weekend?
I didn't know this. After the Broncos game, then I just.
Yeah,
Kind of just.
we're done.
It's quite a game, though, you have to admit.
It was good. It was a game.
He's gonna become a FIFA fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll focus on.
After this morning's speech, I might actually become a FIFA fan.
That's supposed to interesting, for sure.
Mostly it's this kind of just.
Oh, yeah.
So I was telling Harry, who was sitting next to me, I said, I remember when we had it 94, where I made a couple of different travels and, all the airports like Cleveland and Detroit and St. Louis had all this stuff hanging and stuff. Or even though I think Detroit was the only one that was an actual host city.
I was about 1 year old, so.
I was a little bit older than that. Thanks for the reminder.
And we played Colts, which actually should be interesting.
Oh, I'm rooting for the Chiefs for sure. I need the Colts to lose.
Guys.
Arizona, I think.
Pretty straightforward.
Half of Arizona's offense is on IR. Maybe the best option, yeah. You can actually look over and see over offensive linemen.
I'd laugh at the stage. But you just.
But you're not playing quarterback, you're practicing ball. There's two different things there. How much of a Call of Duty fan are you? Apparently he is.
Much else. We're pretty good.
Tim, I did my PlayStation 5, the Blu-ray player on that. It's amazing. I mean,
You go to the game tonight, Greg?
No, it's in Kansas City.
I had to eat, go to.
have you been to, what is it called now? I always know it as the Sprint Center, but it's a Verizon, T-Mobile.
Oh, no, I've been there.
Yeah, I have too.
You eat, then you see him play in. Especially those are competitive.
The little power and light district down there is pretty cool if you go down there like during the afternoon today or something and hang out and check some stuff out and eat lunch and dinner and then go to the game and it's pretty fun.
Especially, Yeah, I know on the agenda, we were thinking about having some of that LEPP grant, that's later down. Or at least authorize you to do that.
It's electronic.
Yeah, is there, a way you can get on that and off of which so we can make sure that, you know, we have that included in the packet documents that. It's not entirely necessary, but if I.
If I can find it, but
Yeah.
it's back ways.
You know, I got it from Vivian.
Yeah, sure, just suggestions.
I don't see a copy of it in the packet.
Well, yeah, that's
What's with you? Link's expired.
I'll let, and,
It must. Oh, here it says send a new link. New link, send. Okay, exactly.
It's gonna ask for a device. Code.
Probably.
yeah, I just want to bring it off of them. Okay. Should have it. But don't need to sign, you won't sign the physical version, you'll sign it online.
Yeah, it's a DocuSign. It's really, let's see, is that a?
Surprised the previous contract isn't being done that way. It's KDHE too.
Okay.
That's what we should start, just everything signed electronically.
What's this one called?
What's
Mission one.
Mission one?
Vivian HD Commission.
What's the name on the printer?
Commissioner CL2.
Two.
HD Commission seal.
Printers everywhere. I think when Rage Against the Machine came, this is the printer they had in mind.
Yeah. It's just size.
Printers in error.
See,
The seal one, that's the one that I'm connected to usually.
Triads and cartridges are low.
Oh, okay.
you really had to start something this morning, didn't you?
Every once in a while.
Yeah, let's read that time. Oh, maybe.
Right.
How you doing? Well, good. How's your arm doing? One more week, I'm done with this silly thing. So, doing well. Good.
Would you break the arm?
I dislocated it back in September,
Oh,
and so this was the labrum surgery. I've seen.
I went through that myself. Yeah,
Honestly, surgery hurt a lot less than the initial injury, but
yeah.
just wearing the sling, even for doing something silly, has been kind of annoyance. They are annoying.
I didn't exactly follow the doctor's orders on mine. Sleeping in a chair and
Oh, that's from
a few of those other things.
Does any of this look surprised?
Surprise.
So I don't want to complain when how many times Rich is out.
This is like 15, 16 years ago since statute of limitations or.
This printer's low, printer needs attention, it's low on ink.
Now pat it nicely and say, please print, Alan.
oh, you might try it to mine, but mine hasn't been.
Oh, that took years.
If you kick it, it'll help.
Pick it up and
Yeah.
WWE it
Toe.
elbow sling. We got all the funds to buy. It's all right. I know we don't.
Well, good morning. So a couple things I want to hit on today was, of course, I know a couple of you all, well, actually, I guess a few of you were there. But at the end of October, we had our Extension Council elections, followed by our annual meeting at the beginning of November. So I want to officially report that we're excited to have our new PDC members joining us this year. I misspelled her name. Kristen Holt is coming back on for Community Vitality, along with Alfonso Leyva. We had a glowing recommendation by a member of the Riley County staff that he would serve well on the floor. So we appreciate them joining our PDC. As well, during this last annual meeting, the following executive board members were elected. Our chair is Michelle Taylor, who's once again continuing on. Vice Chair Bill Spiegel, Secretary Tiffany Opelt, Treasurer Mary Marston, and then members Suzanne Mongu, Lance Sharp, Bruce Comp, Hillary Rombeck, and Laura Henderson. So we really appreciate our board members. Here locally, and I've had several board members from here and my old county, and stories I hear. Honestly, I think our board we have is wonderful. They're very supportive, very helpful, and do a great job of it. So appreciate you all attending. And Catherine, I was giving them a hard time because we did a quiz over extension knowledge over this last year.
Okay.
Evidently, everyone listens to my reports because the commissioners did very well on the quiz. So
Twice there for the longest time.
I was giving you
a couple of questions stumped me.
Yeah, I was giving you grief, but then you guys showed that, well, hey, I better be careful. You're listening to what I say. The second thing I want to touch on, and also I should have been talking about this before now, is Greg Hadley, Director of Extension, was there talking about elevating extension. And this has actually been something that's been active since July 1st. I don't know if I've actually told you guys this, I should have, but we're actually no longer K-State Research and Extension. We are just K-State Extension. And that went into effect here a few months ago. And part of this is related to what Greg Hadley talked about, where the university is elevating extension. Part of that meant moving us from the College of Agriculture to the Office of Engagement and Outreach, meaning that we're getting more attention, more focus than we previously got, where Ag loved us, but we were part of a lot of different programs. So now Dr. Greg Hadley, Director of Extension, reports directly to the president as a vice president and is part of the cohort of Vice President Greg Stewart or Greg Marshall. Marshall Stewart. Too many names. So all in all, this whole elevating extension will take place over the next year. There's more to be unveiled, but personally, I'm really excited about it. Nothing is changing right now on our local unit level. It's not like we're having layoffs or anything else, but the president of the university and Marshall Stewart, they come from a background of extension. And so when they were talking about elevating extension, I have no worries about it. I know they have the best in mind. And in the future, I anticipate giving us more opportunities, more support from the university to us local levels that we can use to help our programming. So that's just a brief overview because I know more is to come. But those have been a couple of exchanges, is elevating us to the Office of Engagement. We're now just K-State Extension, and really giving us more focus as they figure out how to support us better from university level, knowing that we're kind of an awesome spot to support local communities and reach out from the university and really have that local impact. So I encourage you to pay attention as more news comes out about that, because I think it'll mean really great things for us here locally. But that's all I have. If you have any other questions, but once again, I just really appreciate the members. I put our full PDC board on there, that the support they have. As a reminder, the PDC is like our local pulse on the community, that they can advise us what the local needs are, what they're seeing, and the way we should really be able to focus our programming to meet local needs. So.
Well, I just realized something. I picked the right day to wear my 4-H.
Perfect. Good deal. So. Awesome. Well, thank you all. And as we said at the annual meeting, we appreciate your guys' support, because not all counties are fortunate to have supportive commissioners like we have here in Riley County. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
I thought, just as an observation, that it was pretty well attended. I mean, the last couple have been at the zoo, so it's been kind of tight knit. You don't really get to spread out and see, but there was several different sectors from the business community, the university, of course, the county, just across broad sectors that were there. So that really should tell you something, the direction of things are going. And I've had several conversations with Dr. Stewart just about 4-H and interactions between county and the university on that subject, and it's been very positive. So,
You know, I'm serious when I say I feel very fortunate. I trust Dr. Stewart and Dr. Linton because I said they come from the background of extension. Sometimes in the past, extensions feels forgotten about, and right now we're not forgotten about from the university level. There's a lot going on, so I feel very fortunate. They think fondly of it and like to elevate extension over this next year. So. But yeah, and to your point, I thought the same. I thought we had a great turnout, and especially having local legislators there. I appreciate that too, that we can kind of let them know that, you know, tax dollars and everything else and their support, what's happening. But thank you.
Okay. This is good. Drug sales. It was last minute. You sample take care of signing that. You won't be signing that. You're going to next week. Yeah, I remember this in that set. Yeah, it's the deal.
Everything about this week. I'll look and see it as last minute.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool. Yes, I love that. And they make it. They have this Friday albums. Oh. We're sitting that, you know, on top of the whole next thing about. There's not people that already.
So like the virtual school. I think that you talk about it, was precisely everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, they hit his percentage, so he's off, it's 2 days.
Always be, and it's so that they work ahead.
Yeah, they only like really, and then they like.
That'll have. We talk about that.
Last year, we're done in April.
One man and one was in this game this year, so.
Hey, you guys order to be it, you know, easier for you.
Well, the other nonsense out of the way. Because it can mean others.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday I went back. So the guys in the show, I said, yeah, they were, because they had asked. Especially the things used to be there, waiting for the prize and sort of stuff. He was, she was, and kids. And single. Oh, yeah. To move from Washington, so they're used to Washington kids, so they're used to someone. It's about the same as a small town. Yeah. I think they also, at least one of them has, because lady was buying, had a friend with a fever. And they were, one of them was, not such a farm girl. They were supposed to go into the I part of it, was horse traders down on the driveway back in the garage. I can't back my car up there. They had the thing set she was down. So they obviously knew. They were doing that thing. Yeah. Because the propane tank, you gotta get, you go around the garage or something to do that. Yeah, I thought I was just like some too. And I wasn't there. Maybe it took me 10 tries. It was just sitting there looking for it. Yes, we did. Because I could have done 10 tries. Still not invented for babies, kind of one of those. Yeah, I think it's the set plan, that's, I guess we need a set plan, I guess that's the, where they kind of find it. Yeah, kind of works to yeah. Yeah, it worked well, I mean, she really struggled, and she went through, I think it took 20 years, it was too long, yeah, really long lessons. She got one of her data ones that I think it's towards her Kansas, she doesn't know we get some old rounds. Well, it wasn't, she didn't have this, they dropped. Their plan was to do what they just were, she had to show me what was to be now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat. And then the boy, while I was in the shop, he came up and was looking in the window to see what I was doing. First of all, just answer the classes, I saw years and now they can guess. I'm looking at all that stuff now with the kids from she helped all the classes. So I think she was guessing that. I don't think there's a reasonable day after that shot and student well down. I guess that's problems because she was, that's a think that's, yeah, school days.
A lot of times they were, and you can't pick up for the high school, you know, you can't school, and they're just like.
Hers are still, like I say, the biggest one, general, seven days.
It's easy,
There, you know,
fun, and just.
you know. I'll get used to that or not, they might. Sweet. One more trip back up there today.
Finish your done. Nice.
The garden shed, now. Just got there and then I realized that their protection to painted where I had it's like, it's just how I took there, that's when. Just screwed in, but. Yeah. That's the plate things. So it gets bigger. That's a big lot, chunks of paint. That's the touch that's, I mean, there's nails all over. Having 4 big spots that videos on it to see. That's set up and then we got this push back box. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, switch there, totally. 1, 2, 3, 4. And taking our numbers, so I'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have to go up there so they can change it. Yeah, back, change it, whatever they want. I told her that she's always, they have one of the doors to the chance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot about the shop. Ben was, who's that shop? It's, when she go over there, she doesn't care if the keys. You know, that was so, that works so well with cooking. And I say about 80, let's do the senators or key, let's go back to services. Number, you're supposed to time left behind. Yeah, that was.
All right.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute, yes.
This is a survey. This would cost me $525 per year plus $1,700. Okay.
It's, yes. You'll see the. Big lady. Yeah.
Brian. Hey, Brian. Oh, yeah. You got maybe a minute or so?
2 minutes.
10.5.
Okay, so,
I got one in my head. So I did it first.
Yeah, you want a copy of this?
no, it's each one. It's.
Okay, yeah, I made a copy of this. This is nothing. And I know the accountant's got me. This, the county residents, they would be responsible for
Yeah.
to.
I don't know how much is it. What you said, Surrey Council, so I was thinking about that the other day. I figured you should hear that.
Not if you can't even understand this to say. I haven't figured this out.
And you get that, we will laugh and see.
This is very long.
This is the last, you know, right, this is down here, this is the.
That's where you have to
revenue. Which. When you use this.
Yeah, and then I'll leave. Every scene. Yeah, I can.
Brittany will be sending you a bill for that.
There's no tape for, there's gotta be some tape. Good idea. We go.
Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, members of the county commission, county clerk, attorneys, everybody else. Hello, how are things? Brian Peak, the Riley County Police Department. I don't have much
information to pass on, which is a good thing, but a little bit to first go over the crime of last month as of on November 1st. This is when the data was taken. Our Part 1 crimes, we were 20% below the 5-year average. Compared to last year, there was a 22.6% decrease in Part 1 crimes. For Part 1 violent crimes, we were about 10% below the 5-year average. There were 15 aggravated assaults or batteries, 1 rape, 1 robbery, and 0 homicides reported in October. We don't have any discernible patterns or trends related to those. For robberies, there were 44% below the 5-year average for October. There was the 1 single robbery that occurred was juvenile related. That individual, I believe, is in custody. For aggravated assaults and battery, there were 8 aggravated batteries, 7 aggravated assaults reported during the month of October. This is about 14% above the 5-year average. Of the 15 incidences, 5 were domestic related. As of the 8th of October, there were arrests in 11 of 15 of those incidents. These incidences are isolated. Again, there's no patterns, disconcertable trends, or anything to that effect. For our Part 1 Part 1 property crimes, we were about 22% below the 5-year average. That included 10 burglaries, 5 larcenies from motor vehicles, 7 auto thefts, 0 arson incidences. The rest were larcenies. We did have a report of our law enforcement vehicles. The wheels were taking off all of them, and patrol was working tirelessly to find the offender. No?
So many jokes in mind, but
Okay. I just want to see if everybody was awake.
I guess my immediate thought is the courage on the individual. Wow.
Yeah, they're working tirelessly to catch the offender. I was waiting to see if Brandon was going to tell us.
Yeah, okay. She's the dad joke specialist.
Hey, who said they were dad jokes? Those are good. Structural burglaries, we were 30% below the 5-year average. Only 1 was domestic related. There have been arrests made in one of the burglaries at this time. There have been several burglaries at various businesses that may be connected. The positive ID for the suspect has not yet been found as of October 10th. But again, detectives are working very tirelessly to find that offender. For vehicle burglaries, we were about 80% or 70% below the 5-year average. It's a 5-year low for us. For motor vehicle thefts, there was a 3% increase. No discernible patterns. As of the 10th of November, 3 of the 7 vehicles were recovered. For DUIs, we were 51% below the 5-year average. We're below the 5-year low for this month. Again, with the holidays coming up, RCPD will be looking at traffic enforcement as well as educational efforts when we come into contact with motorists throughout the community. For traffic accidents, we were 18% above the 5-year average. We were the highest in October, more than any month in the past 5 years. And again, this is why we're going to be out looking at traffic enforcement and working on those. The same 3 incidences, distracted driving, the DUIs, and then just those different type of infractions are where we're seeing the traffic accidents occur. For mental health, the number of SIG-3 instances, coded calls for service that are coded for mental health. We were 8.5% below the 5-year average, but keeping in mind, we're still trying to get a hold of exactly how we're capturing mental health related calls for service. So it could come in at a call of a disturbance, and then once officers arrive on scene, they could find out that there's a mental health component to it.
How are you defining mental health calls?
From the initial call, if there is an indication that there is a mental health component to it, then we'll list it as a mental health call related for service, a welfare check, anything that we know that there's a mental health, suicide, threats, those types of things. But again, we have to work on those numbers because there's a whole backdoor that once folks come on a situation, say they come on a domestic and they realize that there's a mental health component to it, it's still coded as a domestic, but we need to make sure that we go on the back end and look at how we can track mental health for it. So pretty much for those stats there, I did want to, as we talk about mental health, the homeless working group task force is going to be meeting tomorrow. That's going to be, I believe, for lunch. And at this point, we're in the data gathering point of it. So all of the information from the schools, from the library, from all of our community stakeholders will be solidifying that information, putting it into the draft report that we currently have out circulating. And then I hope to have the final report provided to the city and the county commissions, as well as to the community itself by December 1st is what my hope and my goal is. And in that will include national statistics and trends, and then what we're seeing specifically unique here in Riley County. Outside of that, for our department, we're doing Cops and Kids. We're doing a fundraiser series. We're about 50% of the goal. We're trying to get Christmas gifts for families and children within the community. We're hoping to do 80 at this point, but again, we're only 50% there. So we would encourage any members of the public, any businesses, anyone who wants to contribute, they can go directly to our website, look under Cops for Kids and make a donation. And then from there, that's what the officers use to go out to Walmart and then to do Christmas shopping with kids. The initial, what we're doing all of our fundraising now is we have Kicks for Kids, and then there's another that's a situation in which members of the department are donating their own money, so that for the months of November and December, they're wearing any shoes that they want other than something that's not going to be functional, like, like a 5-inch heel or anything to that effect. But so you may see officers out there in purple shoes, blue shoes, white shoes, and that's what it's for. It's for a fundraiser. And then for our detectives, they normally wear a tie. And then throughout that, if they make that donation, then they're allowed to go without a tie for the months of November and December. Other than that, I stand for any questions that the commission may have about that. Thank you all very much. You too. Happy Turkey Day for everyone.
Yeah.
If we're giving away 10:30.
Okay.
Well, next week's just to go Monday, Tuesday. That's, I mean. What's running with that?
Yeah.
And cover on the vote. And yeah.
Progress.
Yeah. Some kind of addition or something.
No, that's fine. I'm just hot.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I'm here to talk more about Riley County Together, our Comprehensive Plan 2040. As promised, I was giving weekly updates until our adoption date in mid-December. Again, just a note, I won't have an update for you folks next week since Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Worry about having to come in for that.
Well, I mean, we can call a special meeting, you know. No, but we don't have to do that. It'll be okay. So just want to remind everybody that the draft plan is available on our website and has been for the last several weeks. We have been going through behind the scenes and making changes, working with Stan Tech, updating the document, everything we're hearing from folks and staff review. So the draft that is currently on the webpage does not yet reflect those changes. So we're working to complete all of that this week. I wanted to get through our 3 work sessions, and we completed our last one this past Monday with the Manhattan Urban Area Planning Board. So Stan Tech and staff are working to make those updates, and we'll have an updated copy on the website on Monday, because then we will, of course, turn around as after Thanksgiving and get our public hearings done with both of our planning boards, and then back to you folks on the 18th for adoption. So if you're seeing anything early that, that you have questions about or concerns or any thoughts, of course, just let me know anytime so we can incorporate all of that. But again, just a note that the draft that is currently there is not yet the updated draft. So there are a lot of different changes that will need to be made. So, and that are being worked on. I know I kind of just said it, but I'll get a little bit more detailed. December 1st, Riley County Planning Board, 7 p.m. December 1st is the Manhattan Urban Area Planning Board, 6 p.m. at City Hall. They'll have their public hearing for our comp plan update. And then December 8th is Riley County Planning Board, 7 p.m. here in this room, where we'll have the public hearing there. So that's all those public hearing notices have gone out, and that is what we are working towards. Let's see. Just want to make sure I get all that before we get to the next pieces. Do you have any questions or comments on any of that before we get to some draft language? Okay. All right. So the next few pages are a draft vision, draft guiding principles, and draft core values. Now, these have been collected. So Stan Tech prepared these using the input that was collected over the course of the project. And then also there's some standard planning world language that's generally good to include in these sorts of plans in there. So it's a combination of what we heard from folks, and then again, just some standard language that we generally include in long range plans. So we've had this out. This is in the plan. And then when we did our public work session last week, which again was unfortunately not overly well attended, we did have that as part of our presentation, or Stan Tech did. I haven't gotten any comments specific to these 3 sections. We've gotten comments about the plan, just about various things or about the goals and whatnot, but nobody has specifically made comments on any of this. So wanted to check in with you folks to see what your thoughts are on it. Are you comfortable with what we have here? Do you want any changes? And again, when we do our public hearing, this will all be a part of it, and we can make sure that's meeting, what the public is wanting, but wanted to get it before you folks and see what your thoughts are on these 3 sections. Any questions or any concern, any changes, anything like that. And we can go piece by piece if you want. We can start with this vision and make sure you're comfortable, and then we'll go to the next section. Any thoughts?
Once again, I just have maybe one thought on this, and that is there are persons rather than biggest resilient, inclusive, and community honors is what irritating protects its natural resources. And this is probably where I would maybe make an adjustment and fosters, instead of sustainable growth, maybe responsible growth.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we're probably splitting hairs a little bit, but I think,
It should be
given, given, some of the discussions that I know the board is to consider in the past year or so.
Sustainable sometimes isn't always responsible, vice versa.
What's that idea?
Would you like to?
Oh, like
To add that-
responsible. Word. Responsible.
Do you want to add that, or do you want to replace? Because, responsible makes plenty of sense.
Might just replace it.
I think I'd go that way.
Okay. So we would say fosters responsible
Sustainability
growth.
is responsible growth too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
responsible place.
Okay, perfect. We can do that.
Good call.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
I'm struggling with it just through strategic planning. It needs to be broader.
Yeah.
I just can't think of the right word.
Well, we could say comprehensive planning, because that's pretty broad. I know we're kind of defining comprehensive with the word comprehensive, but
Well,
it's a little more widespread
it
than
sounds like when you say the word strategic, you're getting
something very specific.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be a little loose and flexible, particularly if you're trying to create collaborative type partnerships with other groups and other things.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you even need strategic planning? Could you just say through collaborative partnerships and commitment to equity?
Well, I was thinking through, and vision. Vision somehow is a word that keeps popping in my brain, but I just can't figure out how to plug it in. Through visioning and collaborative partnerships.
It's all up to you guys, so.
Covers more just strategic planning.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to go a little broader than just saying strategic planning. It's just kind of finding that word that meets what you guys are thinking.
Everybody okay with that? Okay.
So you want to say through visioning, collaborative partnerships, and a commitment, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. Planning, working with everybody else.
Absolutely. Okay, so any other thoughts or changes on this statement?
I think there's a certain comfortability on the rural side in using the unique character of the Flint Hills region.
Yeah.
I certainly like
Absolutely.
that. Rural heritage is another word that I think promotes some safety and security there.
Yeah. Yeah, and those sorts of things are, gleaned directly from a lot of what we were hearing from folks. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what we have is Riley County envisions a resilient, inclusive, and active community that honors its rural heritage, protects its natural and cultural resources, and fosters responsible growth. Through visioning, collaborative partnerships, and a commitment to equity and innovation, the county seeks to enhance quality of life for all residents while preserving the unique character of the Flint Hills region. Are you feeling good about that?
Sounds good.
Active community. Does that include the unincorporated part?
I'm sorry?
Does the word community in this sense context, does that include the unincorporated part?
I mean, it could. I mean, this is the difficulty of kind of what we do. I mean, of course, Riley County is all of us, is the incorporated and unincorporated. It's just we do have to make that distinction in our plan that we can't plan for, inside city limits, but that doesn't mean we don't include them as our community members and we don't contemplate what happens there and we don't have partnerships with them and all of that. So it's really up to you guys how you want to interpret that.
And the way I think it's phrased, saying whatever that Riley County basically wants to see an active.
Yeah.
Which means, not just equal participation. That's how.
Thank you.
I think so. Like I said, like community in that case, it's just saying county. That's not saying a city.
Yeah. Yeah. Just reading John's face.
Well, it'd be better just to say active county.
All community that you want to protect rural heritage, even surrounding type. It's not. Changing. Cultural, natural, cultural.
Well, I'm sure that this, some of this reach outside of the county. Some of that like just some neighbors, I guess, all the township, it's hard to get and.
Yeah, and Ball is in the county.
Oh, townships in the
Yep. Yeah.
It's on the time.
county.
It's on the edge. If some folks are. You know,
He just said, something what we do, sometimes affected by our neighbors, neighbor companies.
Yeah.
Right.
So did you want to change it to active county or do something different or leave it, or what are your thoughts?
I think community is fine.
Yeah, good.
I'll live with it. I define it something different, and I think other people too.
Sure. So any other thoughts with this one, this piece? Or are we good with those changes?
The rest of it covers the gauntlet.
Good. Okay. All right. Next part is our guiding principles. And hopefully it's a little easier to see on the big screen than it is on the little screen, but and of course, most of this came directly from the input we received from folks over these last couple of years. Again, there's a little bit of planning language that was placed in there, but for the most part, this directly reflects the general themes and input we received from folks. So, but just want to make sure you're seeing them, you're comfortable with it. Any comments you might have.
First one, we want to change that also responsible.
Okay.
So that's
Do that. Any other thoughts or changes to consider? Or additions even, if there's something we didn't include that you want to?
It's a difficult one because you can't define what affordable housing is.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be access to housing instead of defining
So support. So how would you like to?
access to housing.
Let's see, support access to. I think diverse is an important
I do
topic
too. I didn't say
to put in there. Yeah, but I can understand your concern with the word affordable.
You ask 10 different people what affordable housing,
Yeah.
you're gonna get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
Or not gonna.
And I think by keeping diverse in there, that
Yeah.
includes all of our different pieces. So, so say again, I'm sorry, how you
I was
would,
thinking support diverse and accessibility to housing.
okay. Thoughts?
One thing that might say that these are all considered together. And mom would say, support affordable housing, that would still have to then also be responsible. So it's like you're looking at every, each one of these. Instead of just one of those.
Together.
That might make you feel a little bit better about that.
It doesn't. Sorry.
Access to diverse housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For access to different, yeah,
So everybody
Sounds good.
yeah, I like that.
feel good about that?
It's two terms.
That includes all 10 different definitions you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. I said, ask 10 people, not 100.
Yeah. Okay, access to diverse housing. Okay. Perfect. Other thoughts?
Rest of it covers pretty much all of it.
Everybody else feel okay? Okay, all right, last part. Our core values. And again, just the same comment about the majority of it was gleaned from the public input, but also includes some standard language for long-range plans. So just want to make sure you're comfortable with it. Again, if there's anything we're missing, if you want to change any words, any concerns.
I like everything that's there. I'm just trying to think if there's anything we're missing.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe growth.
Okay.
That's kind of vague in this term. Maybe not.
County think it's growth.
Responsible.
Yeah.
Already have.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this covers it pretty well. Yeah, I definitely fit.
Everybody's comfortable? Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good mix of, what we're after here. So, okay, so we've done it. So, that's what we'll have, for our vision, our, guiding principles and our core values. That again, will kind of be in the front of the plan and we'll kind of run, you'll see those themes kind of run throughout, of course. So thank you for that. Anything else with the comp plan that you want to talk about or that I haven't mentioned, or any thoughts or concerns or anything you might have heard from anybody or anything like
I
that?
don't think I've heard from everybody is just ready to see it. I'm sure you're ready to get it out.
Ready. Yes, absolutely. So, good. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So I will move on to our next item, if that's okay. So the next item I have for you folks is to authorize Commissioner McKinley to electronically sign the KDHE LEPP, the Local Environmental Protection Plan grant contract. This is, as you recall, we got another $50,000 grant allocation from KDHE to assist low to moderate income property owners with repair and replacement of their wastewater systems. You remember we did that last year as well, and where we were able to help 3 people with, again, a couple of them were complete replacements, which is not an inexpensive thing. So definitely valuable program. So we were awarded again. It did take them a little bit longer than they thought to do, their concurrency and things in the background. So they are, again, ready to get these contracts signed so we can get our money allocated. This year they have changed to electronic signature only. So that's why I don't have and I appreciate, thank you, coordinating that to get at least something for you folks to look at. That's why it wasn't in your packet. Once I had them change it to Commissioner McKinley as signature, I lost access to the document because they had me originally and I was able to access, but then I wasn't. So that's why I didn't have that. So I apologize. But yeah, it has to be done electronically. So basically just the request is for you folks to authorize Commissioner McKinley to sign that. It's ready to go. It just needs that signature.
Print one out. Wait.
Yeah.
Got one printed out there.
Yes, thank you.
I would authorize Commissioner McKinley to electronically sign the LMPP 2026 grant contract by DocuSign.
A second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize Commissioner McKinley to electronically sign the LEPP 2026 grant contract. All in favor?
All right, thank you very much.
I'll have it signed in a minute.
Takes longer to DocuSign than it does to actually sign, don't you?
Well, it's got a stack of pages.
I think, Rich, we should turn to DocuSign and just sign all our documents that way.
Remember that, honestly, doesn't.
Well, I've mentioned the stamp for many years and I keep getting, sidelined on that one, so. I know, I don't get to use it, that's my point. I think it's my signature, I'd get to use it, but no. Some statutory thing. That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay, it's signed and then
Is that your signature?
Better check and make sure, you might be lying to you.
it's about as illegible as my real signature.
Actually, my DocuSign, you can read it. I don't like it, but you can read it.
We would have to sign an app when I was driving my son up at preschool every day. And he wanted to sign it, so I just sound like that, and I'm like, what was not my signature just now, like, it's really us, but I can re-sign it every day. And you like draw a little picture every single morning.
It's your authorization.
They say legally, if you draw like logos or signs and stuff, that after a year, that becomes your legal signature.
I mean, nothing was consistent day to day.
Okay, then you're good to go.
Evening signature, same every day, morning, not so much.
Just be careful how that might impact things.
That's amazing.
So I know we were talking about ladders earlier. That we took to the fan, I had to borrow a ladder to get on the roof, and I asked my friends if I could borrow hers. She said she only had a step ladder, she never knew her view ladder.
Don't ask me about ladders. Yeah. That's how I climbed up on a ladder. It didn't end well. No, we're not. Bears.
So you're not volunteering for.
We won't let, they won't let.
But then somebody,
Insurance.
I don't know, who put a ladder out in the hallway leading into the chambers the following week. I've got my reservations.
There's some on.
It was the same color too, of all ironies.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Leyva, Public Information Officer, here to discuss proposed bylaws for the Riley County Local Emergency Planning Committee. This is a voluntary organization established, I'm just going to read this because it's official, to meet the requirements of the Federal Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, also known as the Superfund Amendment and Reauthorization Act, SARA Title III, for emergency response and planning. We've maintained an active LEPC for many years under the guidance of Riley County Emergency Management And we've had active members from local government and private organizations, comprised of emergency response agencies, hospitals, industries, and community groups like Manhattan Fire Department, RCPD, the City of Manhattan, the local airport. It's a pretty long list of folks who attend regularly. And
University's there and they're Fort Riley rep too.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
NBAF, BRI, Ascension Via Christi. And it's not, I send the invitation to about 70 people. And we get maybe 20 to 30 at the quarterly meetings, but it's still, I'm always really encouraged at the participation. So it's been a great thing.
And these requirements come after Insa command change September 11th? Or was it before that?
No, this what created,
Yeah, sorry.
What initially instigated the EPCRA requirements is from Bhopal, India, when there was a humongous hazardous materials release and killed like 10,000 people. Everybody realized industry is high hazard, and that's where the community right to know laws were put into place in the US and created the need to create the LEPC and the tier 1 and tier 2 reporting, which anybody that has a certain amount of chemicals, they have to report into the county and the state, the amounts and the location of those chemicals and the types. And then the community has the ability to request, hey, what chemicals are, near me. And so Bhopal, India, back in the 60s or 70s.
67 something.
Something like that, yeah. Is what created all of this.
Good to know.
So we meet quarterly, and we've had great collaboration and participation over the years. The discussion for today is about formalizing and hopefully adopting bylaws. The process started earlier this year, and the 2025 board have been working to adapt an EPA template to meet local needs. It's been reviewed by Jacob Hansen and then presented to the membership at their October meeting. They've supported adopting the bylaws, and the final step is to bring them in front of you to see if you have any questions, would like to make any changes, or are comfortable adopting the bylaws as they are. I have a few important points here from the documents. They define the LEPC purpose, what membership consists of, the timing of quarterly meetings, terms of office for elected officers, and defines what standing committees we have the opportunity to create if needed. Do you have any questions about the document? I'm sure Jacob would be able to help with that too.
She just threw you on the bus.
I did. What's the square root of?
Don't do that.
Why is this
Law school.
Why is this guy blue? Why is this guy blue?
Is that a serious question?
No.
He was gonna answer.
But no.
You were gonna do it. So it just formalizes some things about the group. Shouldn't be anything revolutionary.
I didn't see anything.
And thank you for taking the time to, I know bylaws are fun to read.
Thanks for sending them in a reasonable amount of time so I can look.
Sure, sure.
I'm good with it. I didn't realize there wasn't some kind of a structure or guideline set up group, so probably makes sense. Okay, well, there's nothing, no, okay. I'll move to adopt the bylaws of the local emergency planning committee as presented this morning.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the bylaws for the local emergency planning committee as presented.
Sure, you sign.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
11:10.
No, we're, I don't know, Central, we're over in Louisville here. Or Louisville, as they call it down there.
Is it?
Yeah. You've had a thing about that. Supposedly I've got an accent, but keep reminding them that I speak normal and they have an accent.
People is like, oh, it's like getting this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you didn't know. It was like,
Yeah, that's right. I was really doing that a couple of years ago when we won the Arkansas region in baseball.
Because of the timing when they send out, I got a.
You told me that was gonna happen.
Pretty text, but all, two of them.
Yeah. That can happen this time of year, this transition. You get those calls all the time. I sold this, yeah, but.
Heard anything on the remodel? Our remodel?
I walked in the other day, but no one worked on it yet, so not good news.
yeah, on the contract for that. Or just.
Oh, so the attorneys were holding it up here.
Figures.
Hey, it's a 30-page contract, and that's not even, it's just the standard, and then you have the exhibit, and then you have an attachment. on
Hey,
that.
I went
It's
into account.
items.
I went into accounting for a reason.
Someday.
I mean, we're gonna honestly sign it, just let them work.
There's standard AIA grants, which is it's a American Institute programs. They're just,
They're monsters.
yeah, they're monsters.
And they get long, every time they revise them, they add more.
Yeah, they are intense.
And on, you probably do this or where the Clancy always has to kind of a King's X addendum to all contracts at the end. Type of thing you develop.
Yeah,
Here's what we're gonna do.
I still do that as well.
And use one of those to get it done.
That's what I used to call it, it's King's X.
Has anybody heard? Have you ever heard me?
That's really nice, but I have. Elizabeth heard from you.
So we did reach out to them.
Bumped into him, I think it, Dylan's. It was very early summer, it might have been late May, early June.
He's in Vegas, yes.
Yes, Henderson, and I think that's where he said he was going.
Anytime, I think Jan had the communication with them.
Yeah.
I think he decided he was gonna take part again.
Yeah, he planned on doing it.
Oh, yeah, go out there.
It's doing well.
Taking the bars.
Oh, boy, that's all you can practice up there.
Yeah.
And we get some interesting things out there.
Yeah. You could have fun just with employment law. Oh, man.
All kinds of.
Oh, yeah.
The longest minute.
Ridiculous. One.
Yeah, I often think of that. That should be for the chair to do.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, here to request to publish the 2025 budget amendment hearing. So I have listed out all of the budget amendments. None of these, it doesn't increase ad valorem taxes. And so we always list that kind of in the background. All of this is just by other revenues that we've received. And as you all know, by the time we're putting together the budget for the next year, we don't know what, how that current year is going to fall. And so that's why we always have or typically have budget amendments, because you just never really know what's going to happen. So we have several this year. So we have Hunter's Island. which you all know, the past few years, we've had Hunter's Island pretty regularly. So I've been working with John and Evan, kind of looking at rates and different things like that, seeing what we need to do to sustain Hunter's Island for that. RCPD, you all are aware, last week I came to you with the transfer. So this authorizes us to spend that additional $300,000 that we transferred over. Solid waste is another one we've seen larger expenditures with, but we've also seen an increase in revenues. And so that's where that difference is. Economic development, we had the Make My Move contract, and we had to pay a lot, 50% of the Make My Move contract up front. And then we also had all of the grant revenue from that. And then all of the community corrections ones, it's just this was really their first full year kind of getting through all of these new funds. And then adding in the adult and juvenile carryover. We didn't originally have a budget set because we didn't add those two in until towards the end last year. If you recall, we had these on our budget amendment for 2024. Motor vehicle operations. This is one we've never done an amendment for, but it was notated in our audit this past year. And typically we ask our auditor to remove it because statutorily we're required to do that transfer from motor vehicle over to general. And this was the first year that it wasn't removed as a budget violation. So we decided that just moving forward, we're going to start doing a budget amendment. So. Special alcohol, we had this on here last year as well. That's because we realized it had to be split into multiple funds. So we have like the county park and recreation. So that's why this one's being amended. County auction. We've just had a lot going on with county auction this year. And then health department, they just had a larger cash balance to start this year with than we originally anticipated. And then disaster fund, just making sure that everything that we plan to spend is going to be fine. Most of these are still under budget at this point. All the community corrections are actually right at or a little over budget. So that's why we are proposing to amend all of these. I have it scheduled for Monday, December 15th at 9 a.m.
The county auction, is that the property?
Mm-hmm. So
Surplus property.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it isn't, it isn't tax, as I was.
No, it's not a tax sale.
But the county auction costs us that much?
Yeah, we have pretty large expenditures because we have to pay for any time like we store stuff or like for the moving companies that come and like pick it up. Yeah. So.
Oh, when there's something here, that's we.
There's, Public Works used to do a lot of that themselves. They've been on there 9 years ago. They'll work on planes and hire. The previous company was very recent. The new company is much more. We just went away from a year or two ago.
What special alcohol programs are we talking?
So this is one fund. And so previously, I don't know if you remember last year, Shiloh came to you guys and gave you a huge presentation. And so that's what this is too. So like we just didn't include it originally in the 2025 budget. So it was discovered after that we needed to make sure we were splitting that between 3 different funds.
Technically, that's an addition of subtraction from the actual budget.
Right.
We get funds from the agency to sell out.
Certainly. Is there some way of listing that out? What's actually an addition or subtraction?
Well, all of these are increases to the current budget.
So the county auction, we don't take in. It costs us to sell all that stuff off?
But it's strict statutes on how we can dispose of things. A lot of things you just can't throw away in many public entities have made headlines because a piece of property is found in a dumpster and people say, well, why are they throwing my tax dollars away? Very strict way.
A lot of, and I don't know what we made on.
Very ways on how we get rid of that stuff. On some of the large equipment, it really large good for, as old as it is, the guys will tell you they're amazed how much we get for what we would consider a piece of junk. equipment, but all that small office stuff that has to be moved and those expenditures, just so.
I think, yeah, the equipment,
But computers, Tori is with two computers, they'll put them on a pallet and bind them all up, and those people that,
that's
recycle, salvage, you know, but they get it for dirt cheap, you don't get it. Right.
yeah, if you have to haul it all out there and
Precious metals and whatever that's in it.
Those would just be better to give them to,
dump them to house, the house takes.
there's total groups that use them for educational purposes or something. You can just donate them. Be cheaper than going this route.
I don't know if we can just simply donate either.
The statutes are very strict, because we could research it, but they're very strict on getting rid of public entity property of any type, even though.
I'll let you explain to people why we have to spend that much money on stuff then.
Statutes make it easy to keep, tax expenditures in.
Sarcasm. Sorry. Roll back up again, Brittany.
Yeah, of course.
Brittany, previous months, what have we been spending on inmate offsite housing? 16?
Yeah, so quarterly, we were spending probably about 14,000. We just got a bill for over 30,000.
Brittany, yeah, that's right. We're gonna bump it up a certain level, and I said, no, let's go to this.
That's.
And what you have to remember, these are just swags at this point. The thing is, past this point, we don't get the opportunity to change it. But while
You
you
need to make sure.
so we just go,
You approximate what's the worst it can be before the end of the year.
It's amazing considering we're just listening to crime stats and all of our crimes apparently going down.
but because of course, we're limited by a cash in too. There's a budget side and there's a cash in. It's, of course, can't do a budget amendment for more than cash.
Yeah. So what
We always have both sides of those financial transactions, budget and cash.
So we budget for the full cash authority. So at this point in the year, we generally have a pretty good idea of where we are, you know, budget wise, and then we know where we are cash wise, you know, and so what I do throughout the process is I reach out to department heads and say, hey, you know, it's budget amendment time, please review your budgets. And then if I don't hear from anybody, which has been the case, but I start reaching out to people and I say, hey, we need to talk about your budget. Let's review it. And even if they're not close, so like health department's a great example. At the end of October, they were only at 77% of their budget spent for the year. But sometimes big expenditures kind of come at the end of the year and we just want to rather be safe than sorry. And so I touched base with Diane on Tuesday and said, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing. You had this much cash to start 2025. Let's go ahead and budget for the full amount of cash that you have to get you through the end of the year. I don't anticipate them spending all of this at all. She doesn't anticipate that, but that's just an example of like how we go through the budget amendment process.
So for 26, whatever that reserve is goes back to the general and.
No, it would stay in health department. Health department will stay in health department. All the people stay in their respective departments.
But then again, as we develop 27, if we wanted to take that cushion out, you could.
You could. Yeah.
It's what, yeah. It is almost 27.
Well, and you know, health department and community corrections, because you always get questions of like, okay, how did they start at the beginning of the year with so much cash, you know? And so the answer is because of when the distributions are for their grants. And so a lot of the times, but they submit their reports generally quarterly. And so they get their distribution in January. And so, or, you know, even vice versa, sometimes some of them can hit in December, but that's why that rollover hits. And then it looks like there's a larger balance at the beginning of the year, but ultimately, if you're looking at their grant year, that's not necessarily the case.
Especially now, this, they're October 1st, third year, the year in, other places are
Yeah.
July 1st.
Yes.
Trying to juggle those numbers around.
Yes, it's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. WIC is October through September. All the other divisions are July through June. And so it makes a big difference. And some of them aren't quarterly, right? So some of them you actually, WIC is a good example. You have to submit the report monthly to get the reimbursement monthly. And so that impacts that cash balance as well.
The government shutdown being towards the end of the year in the last quarter, it's reimbursements are going to come in. Fairly, it looks like.
Yes. Yep.
Glad they're coming, by the way, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
selling a ton.
Yeah.
Right.
There any other questions?
Well, I would make that motion to approve publishing the 2025 budget amendment hearing. And that would be on Monday, December 15th at 9 a.m.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve publishing the 2025 budget amendment here. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Commissioner Brittany.
It's red last week, but
Uh-oh, we're gonna be close again.
But it's.
Any business commissioners, normal business? Okay, John, what do you got?
This is gonna be ugly. Not in our favor. Nothing matches up with this. We don't even play good in Utah. I remember the Utah State game in '92. We're supposed to win and we lost like, I don't know what it was, 28-14 or something, but.
I think Brandon remembered that too, he chuckled.
Oh, yeah, yes, we do, yeah. So they're strong against the run. We're not. Our top two receivers are gone. I just don't have a good feeling.
Utah good news, we're missing our best offensive lineman and defense.
And linebacker.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna be short another corner.
Right. So everybody's just dropping. I said the line was 17, it moved from 17.5. So sounds about right, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say 38-17 Utah.
Yeah, great.
No, I had 42-17 Utah.
Oh, I have Utah 39, they State 27.
Oh, the score closer to first too. I was going with the score closer to that, yeah. Because we didn't have anything on offense.
I go 30-27, yes.
30-27 gas.
Yes, more.
I so hope you win.
Yeah.
I went to 41-14. Utah. Bob, got one? Sure.
I'll be like, after and I'll say, we're gonna cover over 38-27 Utah. So.
I'm very
close.
Jacob.
It's not so fair. Maybe there's some many. Yeah.
Hope we're all off as bad as we were last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hurricanes weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at that game too, you just see the ugliness in it. It's like, which you're that far along in the season and you're just not, you're not seeing drastic improvement, you know? And
Well, we were there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And just went, bleh.
yeah,
We played Texas Tech, except for the last half of last. We played them, and then.
Cincinnati.
I think everybody just let the air out and said, well, the season is what it is. Yeah, that's too bad.
I hate to go against K-State.
Yeah. That'll be realistic as well.
Well, I will tell you this, in all fairness, this was one of the games early in the season, you know, going into the season, I thought we weren't going to win either. I thought we'd go about 9-3 this year. And that was one of the games I thought we'd lose. So it's still on par.
We built our season too much for pound to pay certain thing back.
Yep.
Very good game.
Well, the only thing I don't understand about that is we brought in two other transfers to build around them, and we haven't used either one of them. What was the point? I mean, they weren't freshmen to come into redshirt and develop. They came in with the intent to play. I don't understand what the point of that was. I'm not slamming anybody, and then maybe it just didn't work out. I understand that, but I tend to think they were planning to have options. But just the options didn't work out either. Feel bad for Avery Johnson, I really do. But
It's overrated.
well, but what do you expect? I mean, we don't really have any of the tools around him. I think when you look at his statistics, he's a really good quarterback. I mean, he's gonna leave here with some records.
What's his name?
Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman had great statistics, couldn't win a game.
Well, he had Jordy for 2 years.
Yeah.
But no defense, no really good offensive line, no good running game. Imagine him if we had NIL. I think that's what's damaged us. Damaged this particular program.
That's
quite honestly.
damaged all.
No, I think there's some programs it's benefited.
No,
for
it's
the-
damaged college football.
It has damaged college football
It's
as a whole. I agree. No, it's
Okay.
basketball season. Maybe we'll be surprised there.
Okay, I'd make a motion to adjourn the November 20th, 2025 meeting of the Raleigh County Commission.
been moved and seconded to adjourn the November 20th meeting of Raleigh County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.